Hey guys, it is April from Getting Hygge With It. Today I am here to do the mid-year freakout tag. I was not tagged by anyone, I don't think, but I have noticed that some of the questions are slightly different and varying, so I could be answering a whole other set of questions than someone else doing the same tag. So let's try it out. Okay, so the first question is, what is the best book you've read so far in 2017? This was obviously the hardest question. Way to start out with this tag, but I narrowed it down to a few, and then I thought of which one really hit me really hard this year, and that was Lily and the Octopus. Oh my goodness. First of all, I need to thank Katie from Girl About Library. She recommended this book to me when I did my What Should I Read Next tag. She recommended that to me based on my reading tastes. I'm gonna link that tag video below and her channel because she is awesome. This book is so wonderful. If you've ever had a dog, met a dog, loved a dog, you have to read this book. It is about a man named Ted and his little dachshund named Lily. And one day he is looking at Lily and he sees this formation on her head, and it looks like it's in the form of an octopus, but it's cancer. Okay, so first of all, that sounds like the most depressing book you'll ever read, right? No, it is really funny. It is heartbreaking, but it's the experience of owning and loving a dog. It just is. And all of the little quirks of Lily and Ted trying so hard to fight this octopus was just a joy to read. You just have to read it. Number 2, what was the best sequel you read in 2017? I would have to say A Closed and Common Orbit. This is by Becky Chambers. The first book in the series is The Long Way to a Small Angry Planet. So I obviously can't go into too much about what the sequel is about because I'd ruin some stuff about the first book. So I'll just explain a little tiny bit about that instead. So The Long Way follows a group of people. Some of them are humans, some of them are aliens, and they're on this spaceship. And this spaceship, their job is to punch holes into the universe to create little shortcuts for other spaceships so that it's faster to travel in space. And it's really a character study. There's not an insane amount of stuff that goes on in this book, but the characters are so lovable. You get incredibly attached to all of them. And in the second book, you follow one of the characters from the first one. I won't say which one, that would ruin everything, but it was just as good as the first. It was a little darker than the first, but I loved it so much. Definitely recommend that series if you haven't read it already. Okay, so number 3, what is a new release you haven't read but want to? I have 2. I would really like to read Artemis, which is by the same author who wrote The Martian. I really loved The Martian, and Artemis is also sci-fi, also set in space, and I cannot wait for that book to come out. I also really want to read Stay With Me. Russell over at Ink and Paper blog, he talked about Stay With Me in a way that stayed with me. Like, honestly, it made me want to rush out and buy it. It's about a couple who aren't getting pregnant. They're struggling with infertility, and I think it's been 5 years of trying and they're not getting pregnant. And his family is very upset about this. Having a line in your family is really important, and the next generation coming up was really important to his family, so they convince him to take on a second wife. And it's about how that decision affects their marriage and I don't even know if it destroys their marriage or not. I haven't read it yet. I entered a Goodreads giveaway and I won it, and I am so insanely excited to read this book. Number 4, what was the biggest disappointment of 2017? And I would have to say The Passage by Justin Cronin. This is a vampire book about a world in which vampires are real and alive, and it follows a little community that has gated itself off and kind of runs on a generator where the lights are on all the time, and that's why they're still alive, because vampires don't like lights, and so they've continued to exist. I just thought it would be a little scarier, and it wasn't, and it was very long, and I was a bit bored, so I'm really not sure if I'm going to continue on in that series. I think I had built it up so much in my mind that it just kind of fell flat for me. Number 5, what is the biggest surprise for 2017? Unbroken is a nonfiction book and follows the story of a man who was in the Olympics as a runner. Soon after he was in the Olympics, he joined the Air Force in World War II, and his plane goes down. It follows his experience at a Japanese POW camp. It was hard to read in times, but this book is about survival, and it's about resilience and faith and forgiveness. And I could not put this book down. I listened to it on audiobook, and I'm telling you, it was a wonderful experience on audiobook. Don't hesitate to pick this book up because, wow, I'm definitely going to make my husband read this. I do that every once in a while to him. So, yeah, Barry, if you're watching this, you're going to be reading Unbroken. You're welcome. Number 6. What is your favorite new author? Either a debut author or a new to you author. And I couldn't choose between 2 people. So, first, I'm going to go with Anita Diamant. I read The Boston Girl by Anita Diamant, which is very much a growing up novel about a young Jewish girl. I think it was in the 1910s, 1916-ish, that period of time. And it was just like a breath of fresh air. This main character didn't have an easy life, but she was able to navigate life in a way that I want to be able to navigate life. So definitely Anita Diamant. I have picked up a few of her other books, Red Tent, and I can't remember the other one, but I'm going to just collect all of her books because I just know that she's going to be one of my new favorite authors for all time. So, okay, so Anita Diamant. And then I also would say Dennis Lehane. I read Since We Fell, which was a very fun thriller, and he also is very famous for doing Mystic River and Shutter Island. I've since bought both of those. So he's just a great thriller author, and thrillers are so hit and miss that when you can find a good one, I like cling on for dear life. Number 7, newest fictional crush. Okay. I don't do fictional crushes. Like, I never feel a crush in any way for fiction. I think the last time I had a fictional crush was for Mr. Darcy in Pride and Prejudice. And I read that when I was 17. And I'm 36 now, so I feel like that time in my life is over. But I did read Bryan Cranston's autobiography. He was Walter White in Breaking Bad, if you don't know. And he was really inspirational to me and kind of badass in this book, and like just his zest for life and stuff. It made me really attracted to his personality. Not necessarily attracted to him, but like, yeah, I'd say he kind of became my new fictional crush, even though he's totally alive and not fiction in any way. Okay, number 8, newest favorite character. 100% easy to answer, Ted in Lily and the Octopus. This man, I wanted to hug him so much. I just loved him. He he is a gay single man who loves his little Dachshund so much, and he is navigating loneliness and a breakup, and he's navigating this, you know, disease that his dog has, and the lengths that he goes to fight the octopus, and just his heart made me fall in love with him. And I feel like anyone who would read this book would just love Ted. You can't not love Ted. Number 9, what is the book that made you cry? I'm sorry that there is so much Lily and the Octopus on this tag, but obviously you know that I want you to read it. Lily and the Octopus made me cry so hard. I was outside on my front porch reading this, and I'm telling you, I didn't even care who was walking by. I was like, I am in this book right now with Kleenex beside me. Do not interrupt. No, I'm not having a mental breakdown, but I am reading the best book ever. Leave me alone. Let me do this. So yeah, Lily and the Octopus will make you weep. Number 10, book that made you very happy, The Boston Girl. Most definitely. I felt like the world was going to be okay after reading this, and just loved it. And number 11, what books do you need to read by the end of the year? And I've got 2 here. I really want to read the 13th Tale before the end of the year, and Rebecca before the end of the year. I think we're going to be reading Rebecca over at the Books and Jams Goodreads read along. If you haven't joined that yet, I'm telling you, you should. There's no pressure to like read absolutely every single book that the group reads. I kind of pick and choose which books I'm interested in reading, and it's so nice to read it with other booktubers. So yeah, we're gonna read that in August. And then the 13th Tale I really want to save for the autumn period, maybe October or even November. It just looks lovely. So that was the tag. I hope that you enjoyed this. I feel like most people have done this tag, so I don't even know who to tag in this. If you haven't done the tag, please do. It's a fun one, and apparently you really find out what your like top books are. As you can tell, Lily and the Octopus is like pretty much at number 1 because it can't stop talking about it. So I hope that you enjoyed this, and I will see you next time. Bye!